Pål Laukli, thanks for being on the podcast.
Well, thanks for having me.
Dude, of course.
Yeah.
The last time I saw you, you were opening a studio.
That's right.
Yeah.
We did.
How's that going?
It's going slowly. I mean, it's a rental place.
Yeah.
So everyone who uses it once comes back. So that's a very good thing. We haven't really marketed it or advertised it properly. I did just to do something. I made a Google ad.
Yeah.
Which was really funny because like people were just standing outside thinking they'd get like pictures for the passport and stuff like that.
Oh, funny.
So that was a bit amusing.
Yeah.
So we figured that was not the right way to spend. I think I spent like 1,300
With
on
ad spend?
Google money.
Oh, that's
And
hilarious.
it was just worthless. So but so it's slowly. I mean, we've had Vogue has been there.
Nice.
We have the opportunity to shoot cars, obviously. So there's been a couple of car manufacturers who's been doing the stuff there.
Oh, that's good. They did the whole car
Yeah.
photography thing is massive.
Yeah. So the whole concept of the place is that it's not my studio.
Yeah.
So shout out Slakteria Studio on Instagram. So if you want the best space in Oslo to work, you know where to come.
You know where to come.
Yeah.
Dude, it's a big space. I got a friend in Australia who has a studio space. Maybe it's about the same size, and he does a lot of car stuff there.
Yeah.
And they do car commercials as well with rigs.
Yeah.
You know, with like these robotic
Yeah,
rigs
yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
these
It's crazy.
fucking crazy lighting rigs that come down. Yeah.
So the whole idea is to create like a space where someone, like if you rented it from me, then you can welcome your clients to your spot.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
nothing there that says my name on it.
No.
It's just completely. We try to make it nice. I bought like a bunch of plants and you know just make it a little bit cozy.
Yeah.
And we had a couple of parties there. You came to the party.
Yeah, I came to the party.
We even had like julebord there. And
Nice.
so it's a cool space.
Yeah, it's a good venue.
Yeah, very, very well.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And for people that don't know, I guess you are a commercial photographer.
Yeah. You can say
And
that.
you do a lot of fashion and products and
Well, I don't really do fashion.
no.
But for some reason, people tend to think that we do, but we don't really do fashion. We don't work. We stopped working. I mean, we did back in the day, like
Yeah, maybe that's why I think that, because when I met you was a long time ago. Maybe you were
Yeah.
doing stuff with Moods of Norway, or
yeah.
or maybe that was more video then.
No, that was stills, but that was like when was that?
That was 15 years ago,
Crazy.
13 years ago, a long time ago.
We're getting old.
Yeah, old as shit.
Yeah,
You still
yeah.
look
I love it. I mean, I'm really into getting older.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, I think it's I don't know. I think I just deal with stuff a lot better now. Even though like the stakes are kind of higher. You got kids, you got all family, all this. I don't know. I just love it, man.
Yeah.
Only thing is like you feel, I get fat real fast.
Yeah, you got to be real disciplined.
Stuff like that. So now I mean I race motorcycles, like road racing.
That's so
and-
crazy.
But now I'm getting like for over winter I've gotten I'm really shit at it. By the
Yeah.
way, but I just love it. I'm not really good at it, but I love it.
I mean, you're a big guy.
I'm way big. For
Yeah,
this
like
sport.
your height and your weight are probably pretty important when it comes to racing motorcycles.
Yeah.
It's like a jockey. You want to be light and thin,
Yeah,
right?
These guys. I mean, the top guys are like half of me.
Yeah.
A cool thing though is like girls compete. There's no how do you say it, like gender separation. So the girls compete against the guys,
That's cool.
and you're seeing now like a lot of girls are coming up and they're good. They're fast. You know, like they've been into like whatever, you know, yoga, ballet. I mean, they're much more like nimble, way less, and they have cooler heads.
Yeah, of course.
So
And what kind of motorcycle racing are you doing?
So this year I'm going to be racing in classic superbike, which is 1,000 cc.
Yeah.
So then I have a Ducati 996, and then also I'm going to be doing, if I get the bike ready, a class that's called Forgotten Era, which is like pre-1972.
Bikes from
Yeah.
pre-1972.
Which is really cool. Was it 1974? I can't remember something, but it's just old stuff. So that's a Moto Guzzi, and then also I'm gonna do like track days racing with a Panigale 1199, which is like a modern, like a beast, you know, a horrible beast. So
When you say 1199, is that the
the
CC?
CC, yeah.
And CC, is that like horsepower?
No, this one has 200 horsepower and it's
Yeah.
about 170 kilos.
Okay.
So like the power to weight ratio is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I don't have the
Damn.
skills to race that kind of motorcycle.
What did you say the horsepower was? 100,
200.
200, and it's 170.
Yeah.
Wow,
dry.
that
and
is
then
crazy. Because I guess like you have a look at like cars that have 200
Yeah.
horsepower. A lot of them weigh like
No,
2
if you
tons.
if you look at like if you go onto like race car, like proper like Formula One,
Yeah.
that's where you get. That's the beauty of motorcycles is that you can get just an extremely potent machine, like the craziest stuff you can possibly imagine. And it's like 300,000 for a brand new street legal one. And if you want something to compare it with, you got to go to, you got to go past like Ferraris, and you got to go, you're at Bugatti or
millions and
Bugatti.
millions.
Is
Yeah,
that what they say?
shit,
Yeah,
Bugatti.
yeah.
Damn, fuck. So you're really into the motorbikes thing, man.
Very, very much.
Because I remember you went to was it the Isle of Man?
Yeah.
Where they have that race.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I drove a 1975 Norton Commando from Oslo to the Isle of Man.
Yeah. Oh, hey, coffee delivery.
Thank you, sir.
Ulla. Legends.
This is like very good service.
Right?
Yeah.
Look at this.
Yeah.
If there's anything else you want, we should just get a buzzer. Like,
No, but with the motorcycles, I think it's like when I was young. I mean, I rode a bike I got my license when I was 18, and I bought like a sport bike. I got done by the police. Just stupid stuff. And then you focus on having a career. Then you get kids. So I didn't really pick this up again until I was pretty old.
How old?
I can't remember. Like years ago.
Like in 30s or 40s, around that?
I think I was closer to 40 actually, especially with the racing. And then I was into just like building old bikes.
Yeah.
And that's like the one we took to Isle of Man was a 1975 Norton Commando, which I rode from Oslo to the Isle of Man.
Shit.
Just pissing oil all down the autobahn.
That's a long...
But that was a great experience. I wouldn't, it was suffering pretty much because it's an old English bike, and they have a lot of character, but the engineering side of it is kind of, it's not Japanese,
No.
So then it's a little bit of a masochistic thing with these European bikes. Now it's all about Italian bikes for me.
Yeah.
So if I had a brain, I would just get a Honda and,
Yeah.
because they just work better.
The engineering's better.
Yeah,
but they have less character, maybe.
Yeah, but modern Italian bikes. Ducati was bought up by Volkswagen at some point, so it's obviously changed. Germans know their business,
Yeah, they're good with engineering.
They're good with engineering.
Yeah. Isn't that weird that certain like countries just develop a specific talent for things?
But I think it's a cultural thing also. You just see it if you go, if you travel in Europe, which we do a lot. You're in, for example, Germany. It's like it's very punctual. What you see is what you get, kind of thing. If you go to Spain, it's totally different.
I have a theory about that.
Yeah,
I think it might have something to do with the structure of the language.
Yeah, maybe.
I think so. Like when you listen to German, like it's kind of rigid, and like all of the rules and the way that they're saying things, it's like with all of these, different endings and stuff like that. But I feel like with Spanish or like a Latin-based language, it's a little bit more like relaxed and flowy, and then maybe that has some kind of implication on how people see the world, and then where they kind of gravitate towards fields. Like Italians is like notorious for food and stuff like that.
What do you prefer, French or Italian food?
Italian.
Same here.
Yeah, of course.
I think it'll beat the French any day.
Of course, dude. Name one fantastic French dish, and I'll name 5 great Italian ones.
Exactly.
Yeah. But when I talked to you last year about being on the podcast, and you said that you were going to France.
Yeah, that was at the end of the year. We went to a beautiful place. I want to give a shout out to Jan Vardøen. He bought this old perfume factory in a small village called Séant that you can rent. He's got, for you guys as well, I mean, he has a full production suite, cinema in the basement. He has, what do you call it? When they make the sounds for films. Foley. He's got full Foley and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Amazing place. So we went and did a big project for a Norwegian client there.
Yeah, okay.
Amazing. So that was super cool.
Yeah, okay. But I kind of we veered off, but I was asking you earlier about whether you were a fashion photographer and you said no, you're more of a commercial photographer.
Yeah.
Why don't you just tell people like what kind of assignments you normally do and what you like doing? Or
Yeah, we do. I mean, we do a lot of different stuff. We do a lot of branding things. We do fashion as well, but I wouldn't call me a fashion photographer. So what we've been pretty good at is to increase revenue for the companies that we work with. So it's more like trying to understand where the client wants to be and what we can do to help them get there. So in the traditional sense of fashion, we don't do it, but we obviously do work for a lot of clients that produce clothing.
Yeah.
So, but I prefer to use the word branding because that's kind of more what we do.
Yeah.
But we also do a lot of. It's changing a lot. I mean, now with the artificial intelligence, for example, we've been doing a lot of project that involves a lot of lighting and pretty elaborate setups. And I think that kind of imagery will be replaced by artificial intelligence, unfortunately and fortunately. So it's
what do you mean by that? Like what will artificial intelligence replace?
I think that these kind of ideal, like visually ideal images, which is really like great lighting, a lot of good retouching, all that kind of stuff. Is going to be very easily replaced by artificial intelligence.
All of it from scratch, or will you still need the photo of a particular person?
Now you do need the photo, but I think that's just. I mean, we're just like on the opening, the first lap of this thing. So obviously, I know, and now like Stable Diffusion, Dolly, all of these motors that are coming out there, the Chat Open GPT. Where you can have you tried that?
Yeah, you know what?
Insane.
It's insane, but it's terrible at writing jokes.
It is. It's horrible but I think that that's now.
Yeah.
And these things are not connected online. That's the biggest thing. They did the machine learning over a period and then they stopped.
So they're not connected to real-time searching on Google.
As far as I understand, at least, it's not connecting to Google. It's not online. So can you imagine what happens when this thing does?
So if I say, type in a photo of a guy in a jacket in front of a mountain in the style of Pål Laukli.
Yeah.
Then it can scan all the photos that you've taken, all the photos of cars,
up to a certain point. That's how I think, and then that's what I've been told, at least, that they're not online. They're not using.
Yeah.
So all of this is, a huge social experiment.
Isn't it's
crazy.
It is crazy.
It
all just happened in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
Like do you remember when everybody was uploading pictures of themselves?
Yeah.
As like kind of NFTs.
Yeah. It's insane.
It's insane how quickly a face just sweeps and takes over everything.
But I think we've seen these things before. It's when the iPhone came overnight, the game just changed. And I think also we're going to have for people like me, for example, I think you're going to there's definitely going to be business for us. What we have to understand is that type of business will be replaced by AI. Because why would a company, if there's stuff that they can just get generated really efficiently and really well, why would they need the middleman?
Yeah.
So my take on this is to focus more and more on personal things and real people and real stories. And I think also you're going to have, you can see it like there's, for a while you had like retouching got better and better and better. And then all of a sudden everyone's like, fuck this. We want to shoot analog. We don't want any retouching because people are fed up with it.
Yeah.
These fake realities. And I think you can see it in like the scumminess that has become the influencer culture, where people are sort of selling something real and it's just such obvious bullshit.
Yeah, especially with all the filters and all of the fake.
But not only that, but also the causes that you get paid to promote.
Oh yeah,
which you don't even believe in. And I think that for young people, they're smart. But young people are have developing minds. They have, I'm concerned about my gearbox on my Ducati. If you're 21, you're thinking about the planet and the future and in a different way. It's not that I don't think about the future, but you know what I mean. It's
exactly.
You have a different sort of mindset to these things, and I think that a lot of young people are just fed up with it. You know, it's like, fuck this shit. It's just, it's everything is bullshit. So I mean, my biggest issue is, you know, with when certain things become capitalized. So, for example, depression is something that you can use as a label to sell something.
Yeah.
And then what you're selling is yourself.
Exactly. I know what you mean.
Yeah. And so it's like all of these problems, all of these personal issues become capital. And that's what we're seeing to a big degree. And obviously some people do have problems and some people do have issues. Some people sharing it helps others. But I would even suggest that for the majority, it's not like that.
No, it's just an opportunity.
Yeah, you're just selling your brand.
Yeah.
And
you know, like in comedy, that's kind of like an established way to promote who you are. You know, you're the Asian guy. Or you're the guy who's, you know, blind, or you're the dude in the wheelchair, or you're the Mexican guy, or you're the black guy.
Yeah.
So I see that a lot, but it's generally not just for profit. It's generally just to kind of like establish who you are and to paint your perspective on the humor that you're about to deliver. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I can see it like when you're saying like, you know, I'm trying to promote that I'm suffering from this thing, and, you know, this brand or this book deal is something.
It's clickbait. That's my point.
It is. Yeah.
You're not selling the depression.
No.
But you're getting the traffic because of it. And then you're selling this fucking glass.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that I think people are just fed up with all this shit, you know, because it's such obvious bullshit. It's like some of these people, you're just like, God, whatever the fuck. I mean, I've seen, I don't even go into their Instagrams, but I see it because they're becoming celebrities, so you can't avoid it. And it's like this week you had, you know, you have a drug addiction, and then next week is this, and then there's that, and then, so you got to stay relevant.
Angst.
Yeah, that's a big
angst.
One, you know?
Anxiety is a huge one.
Yeah, and it's. I mean, obviously, it's a real thing.
Yeah,
it's a clinical
definitely.
thing. People do have angst, and people do have issues.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. That's really not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that it's a shame that it's become sort of kosher to capitalize on these kinds of issues, just because. If you have like a famous name and you can just say, oh, I have a drug addiction, oh, I have this or that, then boom, you'll generate a shit ton of traffic into your site where you can push product.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. And I think all of this fake bullshit is, people have sort of reached a saturation level. It's like enough now.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to have...
Is there a degree of it where it's not fake though?
How do you mean?
Like if there is, like, say for example, like somebody was like, I don't know, suffered from fucking, I don't know, like let's say low testosterone or something.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm so getting overweight, I'm getting older, and then, oh, you know what? I started I joined this gym, and then I started getting this personal trainer, and here's a link to their code if you want to do the same. And is there a point where it, like, for some people it could be like an authentic experience
of course.
that they're just trying to?
That's not what. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying everyone's fake. I'm just saying that as a whole, where something becomes an industry, which is like the influencer industry.
Yeah.
You can pull that over into, for example, cancel culture.
Oh,
so
dude, very familiar with that.
Yeah. My whole point is, what is your intent?
Yes.
And that's where I think people are getting a lot more savvy at sniffing out malicious intent.
I got you. The intention is super critical.
It's critical.
Yeah,
so it's like with comedy. It's like, you're from Australia.
Yep.
So if I went to Australia and I made a joke about Aboriginal people,
yeah,
and I did that out of just not knowing or ignorance, and you get offended by that, then that's kind of not my problem. It's your problem, you know, because my intent was not to offend you.
No.
But if I did go to Australia and I just said something like mean, then it's on me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I 100% agree with you. I think intention is super critical to how you're trying to communicate something. If your intention is like just to try to make a joke, yeah, fuck it. But you didn't know? Okay. But if your intention is to be mean, or like malice, then hey, that's not cool.
But also in the influencer sense, if your intention is not to actually put the spotlight on mental issues, it's to sell skin cream.
Gotcha. There you go.
This is the problem, I think, with social media and this whole industrial complex of people who are their own brands.
Yeah.
And in a jungle of all of these people, to stick out, you go for the low hanging fruit. You know, you're just going for like whatever.
People that are kind of suffering. People that are looking for some kind of cure that you've got the answer to.
Yeah, because it's like if you have an influence, go, nah, man, I'm fine. It's fine, man.
Yeah, dude, everything's good.
Dude, life's pretty good, man.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say. I like this fucking car right there. But
right.
Man.
Shit.
So, but I think, So I think in our line of work, things are gonna pivot back to wanting. You can see it already. You know, my biggest clients. I don't know if I'm allowed to sort of name drop them, but my biggest client that I worked with for several years, they don't want any retouching, none. Just color grading. That's it.
Yeah.
The model has a zit. Leave it on.
Yeah. You know, now that you mentioned that, weren't you involved in the retouching law?
Yeah. Well, not the law. There's a big misunderstanding there, but I was involved in. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, because I remember when it came out. Maybe it was like 6 months or a year. It wasn't
first of July.
It wasn't too long ago, and they published. It was kind of goofy the way that they structured it, and then I remember you wrote some kind of response to how things were impractical with the
the whole thing was that the law is the law, so you can't change that because that's knocked through in Stortinget. So that's to change the law. That's a long process. I think they spent 4 years making this law. Problem was that when the law was out on like a hearing where they want feedback from, for example, the photographers advertising, you know, no one showed up. So
oh my
really,
God.
so this whole,
That's
I mean,
hilarious.
but also they weren't really invited.
No.
But it was just a weird thing. So I saw the list of who was invited. It was like Avinor, Bodø kommune. I mean, it was just crazy.
Yeah.
So what happened was that Forbrukertilsynet, they get like, do I say like a lot? I just hear myself when I speak English. Anyway, they get a mandate from government to implement the law. You know what I mean? So they're the watchdogs. They're the ones who are they're the police. They're the retouching police now. So they can only work from what the law says. You can criticize that or whatever, but it's not going to help. You know, because the law is the law. So to change the law, you have to go back to Stortinget, and that's a huge process.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just gonna pop my ears.
Pop them, bro. We're at an altitude of 3,200 feet.
Yeah, I can see we're at the top of the Himalayas.
Yeah,
here, right?
that's right, bro.
No, so I made some example because in the first sort of user manual, you weren't allowed to change contrast, saturation, or like it was like.
Yes.
Well, we can't do our job because.
Yeah.
So it was obvious that it was just someone who doesn't know what a raw file is.
Yeah.
So I made an example where I used the Fujifilm cameras that we use, and they have these presets. So I could do the grading in camera, shoot a JPEG and a raw file, and then do the exact same settings in Photoshop. One picture would be illegal, or not illegal, but you have to mark it. The other one doesn't. I posted that, and then I was invited to have a meeting with them together with the Fotografforbundet, and they're smart people. They're not out. They just do their job, and so what we managed together to do was to find a way where the law does what it's supposed to do, but not into the idea of the law is to stop like unhealthy pressure on young people. That's kind of the idea.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, but that seems like that was a pretty valuable input to give them, because if you can't adjust saturation or contrast or anything like that, like it doesn't seem like it helps anybody.
It was basically 99.9%. Every picture that hasn't been shot in JPEG would have to be marked.
Yeah. That's a lot.
That's everything.
Yeah, but it's good that you work for a client that doesn't want any retouching like that.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see that more and more because, people are going to, people want to get back to what's real, because now with the artificial intelligence and everything is going like,
Yeah, you know that expression? What is it? Like, don't believe 90% of what you hear and only 10% of what you see.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah,
It feels like that.
It does.
You know, my kid shows me stuff. Or she goes, "Did you see this on Instagram?" I go, I bet it's fake. It's 99% fake.
Yeah.
Like everything. She goes, "Look, no, it's like a real, it's a prank." I go, that prank's fake. She's wearing a microphone.
Yeah.
Like that's there's two angles there. You know what I mean? Like so many videos that you watch or photos or things that people say are true. It's just all fucking bullshit.
Yeah. Even if you watch the news, I mean, we're so subjected to, propaganda.
Is that the case in Norway with Norwegian news? Really?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's an interest in everything. I mean, you gotta have a sort of healthy skepticism to things, I think.
Oh, of course you have to have a healthy skepticism. That's what I couldn't believe during the whole fucking pandemic.
Yeah.
People were just like, have you heard of the term Agent Smith?
No.
An Agent Smith is just somebody that just goes along with the mainstream narrative without engaging any area of critical thought.
Yeah.
Like they're just not thinking for anything for themselves.
Yeah.
You know, like I have like a few friends and, like I smoke weed. I enjoy weed. And I go, "Do you guys smoke weed?" They go, "No, it's illegal." I go, "Would you smoke weed if we went to America?" They go, "Yeah, because then it's legal." I go, "But you're doing the same thing. It's just like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you really think is wrong with it?" Yeah. So that's the Agent Smith thing. People just go along with things.
I think the biggest problem society has, in my opinion now.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Everything.
Let's break it down.
Kind of what you're into there. It's the polarization of everything. So it's either you're all for everything government says.
Yeah.
And just like you say, Agent Smith, I didn't know that expression, but you're an Agent Smith. Or you're on the complete other side and it's like you're fucking Area 51.
New World Order,
all this shit.
Interdimensional child molesters. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And I think all of these things, and it's kind of a problem in very many aspects. A really interesting thing is this Andrew Tate guy.
Yeah.
Where it's like, he's obviously a douchebag and he says a lot of like horrific stuff. But then in between he says some pretty which is just sort of self-help basics.
Yeah.
But like young dudes are like, "Fuck yeah, man, dude, top G," and he's doing
Hustler University,
man.
top G.
Yeah, it's just really clever marketing. It's just selling a product in a really, really smart way.
Yeah.
And when he's getting canceled from the social media platforms, you can just tell the way they do it is they're just bowing to pressure, but with not really any sort of critical thinking. Because then after a few weeks, it's like, yeah, well, we don't really. So he's back on.
Yeah.
So he was gone from my feed, and I'm a white man pushing 50, so I'm right smack in the middle of like and I like motorcycles.
Yeah.
So you can imagine the algorithm just pointing this. It's like,
you get the meathead algorithm.
Yeah, I do get a lot of like anti Greta Thunberg. It just pops up a lot of these kind of things.
Yeah.
And I think it's just I saw this one guy, really interesting experiment. He a young black dude who was selling his car.
Yeah.
And he was just shocked at, like 3 comments in, it turned on race. Just like
quickly.
Almost immediately. So what he did was he opened started a new digital life where he was a white guy in his 30s. And so he opened a mail, and through the mail he's opened a Facebook and Instagram and all that. And then for the first week he didn't publish anything. 0. So every advertisement, every sort of suggestion that he got in was things that were like generic, geared towards dudes in their 30s, primarily white dudes.
Yeah.
So it'd be like back shaving equipment, health supplements, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then after 1 week, he went into one right-wing page. He just visited the page. And then he left it for another week. I think maybe pressed like or something. I can't remember.
Yeah.
And then you could see the shift.
Yeah, okay. Then they go, we got a right wing.
Yeah, because that's all the algorithm has to work with.
Yeah.
Is that one click. And then a week after that, he wrote a comment on that same site.
Yeah.
And then boom, it was just fucked.
And what kind of stuff started
Just
popping up then?
nasty, racist, right, degenerate,
Yeah.
super like dark,
Yeah.
you know,
So
brown shirt stuff.
okay, so it's enough to click or comment on just one thing.
That
Or
was
even just visit the page or push like maybe.
yeah. I mean, you're constantly creating. You know, you're constantly creating the recipe for the algorithm. Of
Yeah.
everything you do.
Yeah,
So,
it's true. Like my algorithm is filled with jujitsu techniques.
yeah.
And even it's very tailored towards a specific technique. You know, like I'm very interested in judo throws for jujitsu, and I just get so many different judo throws popping up, and obviously comedy. I get a lot of comedy, and like now I'm getting a lot of like ancient history videos. You know, like people talking about like fucking Alexander or you know like shit like that, which I love too.
Did you know TikTok in China is completely different than TikTok in Norway? Completely different.
Ah,
Yeah. And TikTok in China, first of all, it doesn't work after I think it's 10 or 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
No.
You can't be on TikTok. And the second thing is that you don't have people dancing naked to stupid shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's none of that. What it is, it's like aspirational stuff.
Yeah, okay.
It's like how to become an astronaut.
Really?
Science experiments.
Yeah. That's what we should do.
Yeah, but this is a Chinese company, so they're pretty fucking clever about it.
Yeah.
Just drown the West in stupid shit.
Oh, so it's like a Cold War tactic
Pretty
to like
much,
fucking distract the generation of the West with all these people twerking, and then in China they're like, "You should be an astrophysicist."
It's pretty clever. I mean,
it is clever.
Cultural war going on, and it's also, I mean, I think these like TikTok is really toxic, and I saw this article about how, because when you agree to TikTok, you basically give them all the content on your phone.
That's crazy. Yeah. Like every photo, every file.
Everything. The names of the files, where they were taken, the dates they were taken, the phone calls you made, who you made it to.
So
I don't think they're not allowed to like read your messages, but what they can do is you can see who you've been messaging and when you did it. And from that, you can deduct quite a lot of information.
Oh, so that's in the user agreement.
Yes.
So when you download the app and you push accept, then it has access to all of that stuff.
To the Chinese government.
Dude, that's crazy.
It is, and it's true. It's not a conspiracy. It's actually true.
No, I don't want to fuck with TikTok.
No.
That's the thing.
How old are you?
Me, I'm 43.
Why the fuck would you want to be on TikTok?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean,
the only argument that like people make to me is that like if you want to get your content out there, like if you want to like grow the podcast or if you want to post comedy clips, then there's a lot of people on TikTok.
Yeah.
So what I think I'm probably going to do is I'm going to get like another phone that's not connected to anything.
A burner phone.
I'm going to get a burner phone.
Deeper down your conspiracy rabbit hole,
I'm going to get a burner phone just to post content.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, but I don't want to get like sucked into the TikTok realm. And I mean, I'm on Instagram and I feel like I use that too much, you know. I don't want to get stuck. I think that like whenever I'm the most happiest, it's when I'm measuring the metric of screen time. Yeah. Because if I'm spending too much time with my screen, I'm really not spending time doing anything meaningful.
That's 100%.
Right? Yeah. Like I'm not like fucking training jiu-jitsu, doing comedy, writing, hanging out with my girlfriends, making dinner with friends.
Yeah. My big sort of guilt thing is YouTube. And especially after they like introduced YouTube Shorts, which is like Instagram Reels. And it's like, I'll go to bed and like an hour and a half later, it's like, fuck, what am I doing? You know? Yeah. And it's just like a lot of motorcycle stuff, a lot of humor, comedy stuff. I mean, I think I've rounded Bill Burr and Bill Hicks and Dave Chappelle, all of these guys. I've seen absolutely every little skit that they've done. Yeah. But just edited in different ways. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Just from like...
Did you ever go to comedy shows in Norway?
I did, but it's a long time ago. And it was such shit that I didn't want to go back. Yeah. So I haven't been to yours. I've been wanting to come to your stuff, but I went to. I'm not going to name any names, but I went to like a couple of the more like established comics. I didn't really find it funny. I think it's.
What year was that?
It's a long time ago.
Pre-2015.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Like a long time ago.
Yeah. Dude, no, there's a whole new generation now.
Yeah, I know. So, and I think comedy is. I mean, I'm one of those guys who think that you can fucking joke about anything.
Yeah.
Because, like we talked about earlier, the intent is to make you laugh. It's not to be evil. So if you want to, if you go, like when you see like hecklers who get offended, that's the dumbest thing ever. Like you go to a comedy show and you get offended. I don't even. Where does that even? I mean, then you're really you want to get offended.
Dude, I'll do you one better. I've been to comedy shows where other comics get offended. I know, and I go, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
That's really weird.
It's really weird. Yeah.
I talked about Matthias, the guy I worked with. We talked about the roast that had been on TV the other day.
Yeah.
And this girl Marta Leivestad.
Yeah.
She got like.
Dude, she got a lot of negative comments.
Yeah, but just not like in a just harassed.
Yeah.
And that's a big difference because she can say what in the roast. The whole intention is to be mean in a funny way, so she can say whatever the fuck she wants. But that doesn't mean that some incel dickhead can start abusing her verbally afterwards. And people just don't seem to get that.
No,
there's a big difference.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's not like sending somebody hateful messages.
Yeah.
It's not like, what are you
Not
doing?
ju-
That's
it's
not
not
the
a-
roast.
it's
You're just
not
a
a joke.
cunt.
You're just a dickhead.
Dude,
So-
she is hilarious
she's funny
too.
as fuck,
She
man.
is so funny. I've seen
I
her
want to
murder.
I want to drink with her because she looks like she's fun when she's drunk.
Dude, she does a show at Inia every second or third Sunday.
I'm gonna
Hangover. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sick.
I wish I could drink every day, man.
Yeah, how often are you drinking?
Not enough anymore.
No, right?
No.
Dude, I quit drinking.
Completely.
Yeah, at least for this year. The only loophole I have is on podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I totally enjoy having a good party, but I feel such shit afterwards.
Yeah.
So I can't deal with the hangovers anymore. And then I did have a while where I would just have a beer every night. I've cut that out because I just get fat from it.
Yeah.
But other than that, man, like, going out with mates just to the pub, I fucking love it. But
Yeah, it's the
I can't
best.
do it too much anymore.
No, but
So-
do you still go out and then, or does that limit the amount of?
No, I go to. I'll go to like dinners and things like that. I really enjoy just chatting with people. But if at the moment,
It's not the same going to a pub when you're not drinking, though, is it?
fuck no.
I know. I quit drinking and I went to the pub like not too long ago and just tried to get like an alcohol-free beer. I just feel like an asshole, and I'm mostly doing it so that the people that I'm with don't think, "What's this dickhead? Like, what are you sitting there with a coffee?"
No, it's like no, man. I just you remember back in the day when you were in your 20s, you could go drinking like 5 days in a row, you'd be fine.
Fuck yeah,
Go
bro!
straight to work.
Straight to work. Do it
Yeah.
all again.
So now, but it's lethal.
No, well, you gotta focus on what's important, and like maintaining your health for like yeah, man, it's like it's the number one priority.
Yeah.
100%.
I can see like if people have like tendencies towards like addiction, then you obviously need to stay. But for me, it's more just like I just can't deal with the hangovers. So that's more like the reason. Because I like going like when the spring comes around, man, fuck.
And the weight gain. The weight gain's
fat as
real,
fuck.
dude.
Yeah.
Especially now in the winter, you're maybe eating like heavier food, and you're drinking. You put on like fucking 5 kilos, like it's nothing.
In no time. I mean, I got really fit in. I lost.
Just move the microphone up.
Sorry. In the pandemic, I went on this program and I lost almost 20 kilos.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I was really big.
Yeah.
And then
How much did you weigh then?
104, and I went down to 84.
Damn.
85.
And how tall are you?
194.
Shit, you must have been thin
Yeah,
and sexy.
but it was just kind of just like scrawny. But the whole thing was kind of like an experiment,
Yeah.
just to see. So
What was the program? What did you do?
Well, what I did was I talked to actually one of the old guys from Moods of Norway, Stefan. Yeah, he runs.
the vegan.
That's the one.
Yeah.
So I knew him. So he set me up like a program, and I just followed it, just like to the T. And I lost 1 kilo per week. 20 weeks, 20 kilos.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. And you cut, but was it like because you cut out meat, or was it because you cut out like the stuff that goes with meat?
I did pretty much just counted every calorie,
Okay.
and then I logged every training session.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
And then I fasted for 16 hours of the day.
yeah, you did the intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
And
That's the best.
yeah, it's good. I do that.
It's really good.
Well, I don't really do it. I stop eating at like 8:39, and then I have lunch again at like 1. It's kind of like
Yeah.
yeah, but I skip breakfast
Yeah.
except on the weekends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it's what I was really amazed about was how my head feels. So if you're fasting from 8 at night to 12, then you around like 10:30, 11, you could just feel your mind going like, and you're sharp as fuck.
Yeah.
So that I think that's an amazing. I hadn't had, I couldn't. That was like, whoa. Now I'm ready.
Yeah.
So
You're like a vampire. That
it's just
like,
crazy. I think it's like your system just getting ready for something. It needs food.
yeah. So it's making you like extra vigilant.
Yeah, it's like survival mode kind of thing. And
Yeah,
it just so I really enjoy that. But then obviously I'm a lazy cunt. So I mean, I love my big thing is potato chips.
Oh yeah.
Like
Sirloin's chips.
fuck.
Yeah. I took Sirloin's chips back to Australia. That's how good they are. My mum goes, I love them. Can you bring some packs? I was like, yeah, all right. I'll fill the bag full of Sirloin's
that's
chips.
my big, like salty things.
Yeah.
And I'm really big on pasta and pizza and Italian food.
Yeah,
So
it's the best.
So but when I was on that program, I mean, Stefan promised me I could lose 20 kilos, and I did.
How much do you weigh now?
100.
Okay. Yeah.
So now I'm losing 10 again. So I'm back on the program now because the racing season starts at Easter, basically in Spain. So we're doing 3 days in Cartagena and then 3 days in Catalonia with a company called Sunbeer Racing. So they take a truck, like a trailer, with the bikes, fill it up with Norwegian bikes, and then we just meet up in Spain and go racing.
Damn.
Super cool.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, but you don't want to be out of shape.
No. Do you have to be like good with conditioning as well? Like you have to. Okay.
I mean, this is. You can imagine the power of this machine. It's extremely powerful, and you're really going at it.
Yeah.
So you're fighting it the whole time. I mean,
what kind of speeds are you getting up to?
300 at Catalonia.
300 kilometers an hour?
Yeah.
You're going 300.
Yeah, I didn't last year because my bike didn't go that fast, but the one I'm going to do this year will.
Oh my God, that's terrifying.
It's fast, but it's not really the speed on the straights. That's the point. It's the speed that you have through the corners. I mean, when you're on the straight, you're actually resting. You're just tucked in and opening up. But then at the end of the straight, you got to brake, so you're pulling G's like crazy. So you're going from maybe 300 down to 60, up to 180, down to 50, up to 200. So
yeah, okay.
And all the while you're constantly fighting this. The motorcycle wants to flip the other way all the time, so you have to hang off it.
Yeah, okay. So, shit, that's
Australians
crazy.
are historically really great. One of my favorites is Casey Stoner.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like his name.
Yeah, he's Australian. He's a legend, man.
Yeah. Is he still racing now?
No, he's done. Phillips Island in Australia is totally like a bucket list.
Yeah. Shit. No, we have a lot of motorsports in Australia.
Yeah. Australians are good at it.
I think,
but he's like a real legend.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is there like a circuit, like a
Phillips Island? It's called. That's a MotoGP circuit. It's like on the ocean, pretty much.
Fucking nice. Yeah. Shit.
So. But no, so I don't want to be too fat, and I don't care about being fat. But I don't mind. Like, but what I don't like is feeling unfit.
Yeah,
that's my issue. And I get like skinny fat.
Yeah.
So my face gets fat and my belly gets fat, but like I don't get fat thighs.
No,
you know what I mean. So I just become like this caricature of a fat guy.
Do you lift weights?
Yes.
Okay, and does that like help as well with?
Yeah, I only just started after New Year's now. I've been super lazy for the longest time. That's why I gained so much weight again. I had this problem with my my tendons in my arm, so I couldn't lift anything for a while, and then that just became like a cushion to not do anything.
Yeah.
So I thought, I can't. No.
Blame the arm.
Yeah, blame the arm. There, I was in France with Emil Meck, and I was complaining about my arm, and he was like, he asked me, "Have you heard about the Viking with the pain in his arm?" And I was like, no. He's like, no, me neither, because that fucker doesn't exist.
Yeah, dude, that's funny. I mean, especially the shit that he must go through.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He's a beast.
Yeah, dude, just that MMA lifestyle is fucking brutal.
I came down the day of the fight, so we met up in his apartment just when he finished the weight loss. It's brutal.
That was a hard cut.
I think he lost 8 kilos in 3 days. Something like that.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's crazy.
That whole thing to me is just ridiculous.
It's stupid.
Yeah, because you can tell the man is like almost dead.
Yeah.
And in 10 hours, he's going to go have a fight.
Yeah, it's dumb.
It doesn't make any sense.
In jiu-jitsu, we have to weigh in just before the fight.
Yeah.
So if you're fighting at like 88 kilos, you're not weighing in a day before and then, rehydrating. It's like that's just the weight that you're.
Yeah, but what the weird thing about this fight was like the guy he was fighting was also having to lose the weight.
I know. Why don't you just not lose the weight
Just
and fight 5 kilos heavier where you're normally fighting at?
Yeah.
That's such a better solution.
It doesn't make any sense.
No, it's dumb.
So I think that, I mean, I'm really, really into fight sports. I think.
Oh, good. Yeah. You watched UFC?
Yeah, all of it.
Yeah, me too.
Did you see the Teixeira fight last weekend?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
When he put down his gloves at the end, I was like, oh, we want to cry.
Dude, I don't know how long that guy's been fighting for.
Did you see?
He's
My son and I was watching. He's also really into MMA, and he was like, God, he must be like 60. And then
it's like 42 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks so old.
Yeah.
And it was just, God damn, man, you look haggard.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, man.
Yeah, it's a tough life.
Yeah, that is a tough life.
Yeah.
Especially if you're like, the last 10 fights, you kind of been a punching bag.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
That's what was so good about Khabib when he left. You know what I mean? Just
on top. Yeah.
That's it. And I'm out. Mic drop. See you later.
My big now is, I mean, it's basically two. It's Khamzat and Islam.
Yeah.
That's the future right there, I think.
Yeah.
Especially Khamzat. I think he's going to dominate if he makes weight.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
it's the whole weight thing.
Yeah.
Like he missed it by like 4 or 5 kilos last time.
A bit disrespectful.
I think so.
Pretty stupid.
It's really stupid.
Yeah.
And in that interview, it sounded like he didn't give a fuck.
I don't think he does.
Right?
Yeah.
I think he's just that.
He doesn't give a fuck.
He doesn't
He
care.
knows
That's
he's
what's
a
cool
beast.
about him.
Yeah.
But we see what he did to Kevin Lee was insane.
Incredible.
But, like, it kind of felt like he went for this like touching glove thing. Or Kevin Lee put his gloves up or whatever, and then he's like, "Nah, fuck that. I'm not touching gloves." And then he just shot in for the takedown.
And the way his voice goes up, yeah, brother, I'm gonna fight you.
Yeah, he's funny. Yeah, he's funny, man. Yeah, I don't know, man. You know, one of the things that I'm kind of disappointed about was Francis Ngannou and John Jones.
Yeah, I think that if that stories are true, that they've been having, like Dana White says, they've had like 300 dinners, and there's just some fucking agent in between here who wants to extort the money. At the same point, I can see them being like, I mean, Ngannou, the biggest heavy fucking hitter in history. I mean, that dude. Did you see that Jackass thing when was it Jackass or Nitro Circuit, wherever? Yeah, it was Jackass when he punched him in the nuts.
Oh, yeah. No, I seen a clip of that. Yeah. Oh my god.
Dude, he'll break your hip.
Yeah.
That dude is a monster. Man.
Yeah, he's a monster. That's why I wanted to see it. I wanted to see the biggest, most powerful guy against John Jones.
What's your take on steroids in fighting sports?
I don't think they are. You shouldn't have steroids.
But they're all on them.
Yeah.
Do you actually believe anyone? I believe Nate Diaz is not on it because you can just tell from his physique. But look at like George St. Pierre, fuck off. He's on steroids. All of them.
The only I think like steroids is great if you want to be a superhero in a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
But I think if you're taking, I don't know, man. Because I think if everybody takes them, it's okay. But if only half the people take them, if you go up against a guy who's on steroids and you're not on steroids,
of course,
that's not fair. But if you're on steroids and he's on steroids, okay, we got a steroid league. Let's do that.
You remember cycling with Lance Armstrong?
Yeah.
Tell me that if you take the top 10 from that era,
all
dirty. All of them, who's the greatest cyclist of that era? It's obviously him.
Yeah.
Because he was just better than you, but you're all on drugs.
They're all on drugs. Yeah, that's the thing. They were all on drugs, but he was still the best on the drugs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that I heard this thing where you should have like, you could have like 3 Olympics. Sorry.
Yeah.
You could have
steroids Olympics.
Yeah, but you have like the really strongest dudes and girls. That'd be like the steroid Olympics. And then you'd have like the clean Olympics. But then you'd have like, you know, Olympics for people with real problems. Like, you know, having lost a family relative recently.
Yeah, people who owe taxes. Like, fucking going through a divorce.
400-meter hurdles for
custody battles. Like,
going through custody.
These are all dads who don't get to see their kids.
Yeah. Shot put for people with STOMY surgery.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Real life problem Olympics.
Can you imagine that, dude? Like 800-meter hurdles with like broken heart.
Yeah, dude. Everybody that is in this race just got dumped this morning.
Yeah.
They don't know it yet. Now they're getting the messages.
Get a message right before the start.
Ready, set, go. It's over.
The trauma Olympics.
The trauma Olympics.
Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah, that's what you want. Yeah.
But I think for me, it's like everything, you know, when it's like, oh, he's on drugs. But they're all on fucking. You just look at them. You know, like this Liver King dude. Did you see that guy?
Yeah.
He's on steroids. Of course he's. Look at him.
Yeah, obviously he was on steroids.
No
obviously.
way you can be clean and look like that.
Man, I couldn't I just couldn't believe that he would go on all of these shows and just lie about it. And everybody's like, dude, you're for sure on steroids. Yeah. It's gonna come out.
I eat like bull testicles. And that's why.
Dude, fuck all that. You eat bull testicles, but you also do $12,000 a month cycles. You saw the email that got leaked?
Yeah,
it was insane. He's spending 120,000 kroners a month on roids.
That's insane, man.
Do you know how many? That must be terrible.
Can you imagine how much income we get generated out of that 120,000?
Oh, millions. Millions.
I didn't know that his whole gig was actually selling supplements.
It's exactly what you were talking about earlier. It's like living this fake lifestyle in order to send you to this website where we're going to make money.
And tons.
Dude, he became probably like the biggest online sensation. I mean, like
overnight.
That. It just happened. Everybody's talking about like this guy eating fucking liver and testicles, and he was. I mean, his physique is amazing. Yeah. He's so lean, but so big.
Can you imagine how he smells? Can you imagine how fucking BO comes off
imagine
that
dude? Guy's farts? It's like, oh, liver king, relax, bro, fart king, fuck off.
Oh man, can you imagine him in a room like this?
I did. We'd have to open the window. Yeah. I put the jacket on, Paul. It's gonna be cold. This motherfucker stinks. Yeah, I think so. Right?
He just walks around naked all day.
You know, I don't know how. Like when you're lying about how that you don't take steroids and you look like that, like you're probably lying about everything. Like he said this one thing, like I haven't brushed my teeth in 12 years because I don't eat any sugar or anything like that. And I'm like, I bet you do brush your teeth. That's a fucking stupid thing to tell to people too.
Yeah.
You know, like you're saying you don't brush your teeth because you just eat a primal diet. So you're probably going to convince some fucking dummy out there who looks up to you to not brush his teeth. And he's going to end up getting cavities and plaque.
Some Sigma male wannabe or whatever.
Dude, right? Some incel who's just like on some infinite Liver King scroll loop. Fuck that. I want to be like Liver King. Imagine how many dorks are out there just go, oh, ancestral tenant. Let me just order these pills online.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's absolutely.
But people are so easily influenced by stuff like that because it's
that's the whole. I think that we're going to look back at like when did Facebook come? Was it 2010 or something like that? It's not that long ago. It's gonna like historically in 20 years we're going to look at that as like the beginning of the end of civilizations. Just the way it like affects elections. Eating disorders, mental health. Not feeling adequate, feeling too fucking adequate, all this shit, and it's all like traceable back to this like, this generation of creating the personal brand where all eyes are on you as an individual, and I think it's really crazy to see how all this stuff works, like with the Liver King or Andrew Tate or Donald Trump, or on one side you have people who just really, like we talked about, because I know you're a little bit of a conspiracy guy.
Fuck yeah, I'm all in, bro. The crazier the better.
Yeah, and I think that if you have, once you like, a little bit on that side, it's real easy to like find all the others, and then everything's a conspiracy. Like,
yep.
Everything.
Yeah. Everything's a conspiracy. That's the whole Alex Jones thing. Yeah. He looks at everything and can't think anything is what it is. You know what I mean? He just has to, like, the whole Sandy Hook shit. And
let's go to Kanye West. Let's segue into
Kanye West. Dude, what's wrong with that guy? He goes on stage wearing a fucking sock on his head.
Dude, that's amazing.
Isn't it?
Did you see him on Alex Jones?
Yes.
Where Alex Jones is the sensible one.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
Me either. And he was saying stuff about, like, Hitler wasn't bad. Hitler was just...
But just to see someone, like, set fire to themselves, it's fascinating. I read this article now. His lawyers had to take out ads in the LA Times to tell him they don't represent him anymore because they can't get a hold of him.
Yeah. He's underground. They have to advertise. Man. Yeah, but I think that, like, Kanye West represents a self-destruction mode that so many people have in them. He's just taking it to the extreme like he does with everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody has some kind of self-destruct thing You know what I mean? Like whether it's overeating or alcoholism or a narcissism.
Yeah,
Like there's
yeah,
a
yeah.
certain degree of self-destruction in everybody, and how well you can control that by quitting to drink or waking
Yeah.
up early or living a healthy lifestyle or following your dreams.
Yeah.
But he's just like, you know what? I'm just going full meltdown mode. And I bet he's off his meds and he's
Yeah, yeah,
obviously mentally ill, and he just doesn't give a fuck.
I think that's kind of the shameful part of it, is that you are watching someone who is clinically ill.
Or would you like to hear a conspiracy theory? This is a goofy one.
All right.
This is a goofy one. Apparently, apparently Kim Kardashian's mother or grandmother, maybe it was her grandmother, like in Armenia, she made a deal with like a witch that the women in her generations to come.
Dude, I'm going to stop you right there, man.
Yeah, let me.
Right.
It's stupid,
Okay.
but it's stupid but fun.
All right.
So she made a deal, because like they're from Armenia, they have like gypsies
Yeah.
and all those types of people. So she made a deal with like somebody who was like a witch doctor or whatever, and the women that follow her in her line will be beautiful, rich, and successful, but all the men in their lives will end up being disgraced and falling apart and suffering. And when you have a look at the lineup of the women in the Kardashians family, they're pretty successful and defined as beautiful, however subjective. But the men have all fucking just been totally disgraced, like Kanye West, or I didn't really know too much about the Kardashians, but like all the dudes that they were with, and and
I think they're doing pretty. I mean, it wasn't Travis Scott one of them?
yeah, but his concert ended up fucking.
Oh, is he gone?
Yeah, didn't he have the
there was some
the concert where everybody died and he got sued?
Yeah,
was that him?
That was Travis Scott.
Yeah, right. So and like I don't know all the people, but like Scott Disnick or whatever, all these people that were like together with him. I mean, and maybe even I don't know, he's disgraced, but like Bruce Jenner ended up Caitlyn Jenner. Sorry, I didn't mean to dead name anybody, but
is that what you call it, dead name?
Apparently, yeah. If you say the old name,
okay.
Yeah, but that's the conspiracy theory.
Yeah,
read into it whatever you will. But it seems
I'm gonna read nothing into it.
Yeah, nothing into it. Of course, yeah.
No, but I think just the fact that the Kardashians are something that we're sitting here discussing, it's kids talk about
stupid.
Them, it's so weird. And that's just back to that point I was trying to make.
Yeah.
About how toxic this whole environment is. Where someone who's really been able, I mean, from a market perspective, this is ninja fucking level.
Yeah.
Final
boss.
This is the final boss. Yeah. I mean, like, what's her name? The boss Kardashian, the mother.
Yeah.
She must be like, I mean, she should be given some kind of fucking award for being the most insane business person on the planet. She's got like 2 daughters who are billionaires, self-made billionaires.
That's crazy.
She runs that shit like she was the Gambino family, man. I think it's really fascinating to watch. But I mean, like contribution-wise to society or whatever, not that people have to contribute to society, but this is so permeating, it's so fucking all-encompassing. It's like everywhere. Yeah. And you can just see it like in the Norwegian influencer, how they're all sort of leaning towards that kind of Kardashian. It's got to...
Dude, getting fat asses.
Fat asses, you've got to have
implants.
your own makeup brand.
Yeah.
If you don't have your own makeup brand or your own whatever,
Dude, I saw an interesting meme yesterday or the day before. It said, in a world full of Kardashians, be a Sarah Connor. And it just had a picture of Sarah Connor from Terminator 2 just sitting there.
That was my crush, man.
She was so fucking lean.
Yeah. Fuck you up, man.
I know.
Isn't that weird though? How guys find that so attractive? Some chick that could beat your ass.
Yeah.
You'd be like, fuck, she's hot.
Dude, she's the leader of the human resistance.
Yeah.
Like she's gonna kill Skynet.
Yeah,
Skynet? What's
yeah.
Skynet? Well, let me tell you.
Skynet, it's the Matrix, bro.
Yeah, dude. I'm lucky that I have a girlfriend that hasn't seen so many things that I love.
Yeah.
She hasn't seen Terminator, and I get to like, well, check this out.
Yeah,
He's a cybernetic organism that gets sent back.
It's funny too that my wife, we work together and we're very compatible, but we're so different.
Yep.
And it's funny, man. Like, she's really into like women's health, and I totally back her on that. But especially now in Norway, where we're in a situation where you're building down women's healthcare, which is absolutely insane. Like the birth departments are being like funded funds are cut.
Really?
Yeah.
For like hospitals and stuff?
Yeah, you should look into it. This is insane. This is actually insane.
Ah.
But so she's doing this, like, she's really focusing hard on just spreading awareness and sort of helping. She's, how do you say it, educating herself to become a doula. You know what a doula is?
Yeah.
Yeah, like a birth helper.
Mm.
So she's doing all of this, like, really, and I'm like Googling, the new Bridgestone rear tire slick
Yeah,
for
what's
like
the tread like?
for like the gearbox on a Ducati had to, So I think it's just like, I'm not being. It's really easy to sit and like diss like the Kardashians, because I'm not a fucking resource onto myself for society, but I think there's a difference. For people who are just not really, I pay my taxes and I'm contributing obviously in that way, and I'm raising good people as children, But other than that, I'm not really contributing to society, I would say. But that's not the point. The point is that like the Kardashians are contributing in such a negative way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So, like,
yeah.
the
The impact they're having
the
is
impact
massive
is
globally, so
huge.
big. Yeah.
So yeah, you can actually complain about these things, because there's a big difference from not impacting to impacting mostly negatively and
Yeah.
massively.
Yeah. It was like the whole Andrew Tate thing. You know what I mean? He's just impacting society negatively as well.
Dude, young dudes are into this guy, man. It's scary.
Exactly. And that's the thing. They're just looking for some, like alpha top G type character that's going to tell them what to do.
Yeah.
And they're going to pay their $90 a month for whatever it is for the Hustler University.
He calls himself Cobra Tate.
That's crazy.
I get away with
I
it.
know.
I'm going to be like, yeah, man, you can call me Gator Paul.
Gator Paul.
Yeah, dude.
Fuck yeah, dude. I'm going to be like Chimp Inia. Gorilla Inia.
Gorilla, silverback Inia.
Silverback Inia, bro.
Hairy motherfucker, man.
Join my university. Top G. Yeah.
It's crazy, yeah.
It is.
So how's everything with your company?
It's okay.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's a bit quiet at the moment.
Yeah.
January is like a little slow, but we're focusing on, we got a pitch meeting with NRK on Friday. We're presenting a couple of shows. Like my whole thing lately is I want to try to combine humor with the, advertising, creative side of things. So just trying to get that going. I think that like if you develop like an ad campaign that has like humoristic elements to it, that's kind of perfect for me.
Like copywriting type of thing, or
like creating a concept based on a need that you have. Like I have a client that wants to, reach a particular audience with, a series of videos on Instagram. And how can we do that, with humor that leads to an action? Like whether it's like, how can we, generate more sales or leads or become more top of mind by producing content that people resonate with because it's funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like so many ads kind of moving in that direction. Like say like the BI campaigns or you familiar with them?
Yeah.
They're funny. You got a girl who's like pretending to flirt with a guy, but she's just like her pen is leaking on her lip. Shit like that.
Yeah.
So I want to try to just really focus on implementing humor into advertising and implement humor into like TV series and web series and shit like that. Yeah, like man, I'm so into the whole humor thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you are. I mean, I gotta come see you. But I don't know where you're at or where because you're kind of like in different places. I saw you were in Stavanger now, and
yeah, exactly, dude. That was a crazy show. Stavanger was awesome.
But it's like the same. There's actually some people from the north, from my town, Harstad. They're coming. Is it in April?
Okay.
At Salt.
Yep.
And we're gonna have a big sort of pre-party for that. You should come.
Yeah, for sure.
You should come and bring your non-alcoholic.
I will.
Beer.
I'll try to be an imposter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, but
so we're gonna have a big party in the studio before.
Nice.
Yeah, and then we're gonna go down everyone to this. So they've been doing like this stand-up thing up north. You should. There's one guy who's like the sort of Spider-Man in all of this.
Yeah.
You should hook up with him because they're doing a lot of cool stuff. I think this started out as just like, him and some mates, and now it's become like a big thing.
Perfect.
Yeah, so they're even coming down south now.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I know that I can't remember. I got a few friends that I think they were in Harstad not so long ago.
Yeah.
So I know that there's a scene up there. But these scenes are popping up all over Norway.
Yeah.
And you just get people that are like really into it and they just want to try to create a venue for them and their friends to perform comedy. And the fans are into it. They're like, we didn't have comedy before, but now we do.
Yeah.
You know, like this dude that was in Stavanger, he's just like putting on shows so that he can perform, and he's inviting like really great comedians.
Cool.
Like on Friday last week, I was performing with Sigrid Bunde Tusvik and this other guy.
You speak English or Norwegian when you perform?
Both.
Yeah.
It depends. So I'll do usually I oscillate between English and Norwegian and just throw it in there. It's kind of like my thing, you know? So I'll go blah blah blah. So sometimes I'll do the setup in English and then the punchline in Norwegian, or whatever. I'll just do the first 5 minutes in Norwegian and then the second 5 minutes in English.
Are you that comfortable with speaking Norwegian?
Yeah, but you know, like when I learned Norwegian, I felt like really insecure, and my friends used to make fun of me and say like, you sound like a spastic. You know what I mean? Like, you know what mates are like? They're not gonna fucking sugarcoat it, dude. You sound like a moron. And then I felt really insecure about that. But then when I started doing comedy, I'm like, well, if I sound like a moron, maybe I sound like a funny moron. And so then like I was like, you know, my accent and the way that I talk and things like that. Like,
how long have you been in Norway?
For 14, almost 15 years.
Yeah, what was a girl?
No, it was a girl that kept me here. I came here as an exchange student, and then I got a girl pregnant.
Oh, as you do.
As you do. But with these genetics, she wasn't going to let me go. She's not going to let that fish slip out of the net. So then, and then I was, I had this kid on the way, and then I was like, well, you got to do the right thing, right? Because I didn't want to leave to go to Australia whilst I had it. Like, I could never do that.
Is it hard for Australians? Because I know it's really hard to if you want to go and do some business in Australia, it's really hard. It's really like the immigration policies there are really strict.
It's tough.
Is it the same here?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But
So
I have an Irish passport.
Oh, is it?
So I didn't have to deal with any of that rigmarole. I just got like, EU citizen. Basically, I have the same rights as a...
Where's your red hair, bro?
Yeah.
You even tan well, don't you?
Yeah, I know.
What the fuck?
Where's my red hair and mental illness?
Yeah. And alcoholism.
Yeah, alcoholism. Dude, the Irish have a lot of mental illness. It's like...
is it?
Oh, yeah, it's a real thing. Yeah, like my family is in Ireland, a lot of them.
Yeah.
And there's a high amount of mental illness that comes out of Ireland.
That's
it's like,
weird.
I don't know whether you've heard this expression, like, as mad as an Irishman, or even in that movie Braveheart, there was this Irish character who was fucking nutty. That's just them. It's just like maybe somehow genetic selection encouraged fucking crazy people to survive. They were just doing stupid shit. Like, all right, fuck it.
The Irishman. I'm a huge... I think England is just like the British Isles, to put it that way, with Ireland and Scotland. It's just fascinating. It's just such a rough society. I mean, there's so like the humor, English humor is fucking hilarious, man. But then when you go there, you're like, oh god, the food's shit. It's dirty. It fucking smells like piss everywhere. And so it's like, I'm talking about London, not England in general. But you go to London, it's like it's just a... you meet the coolest, funniest people, but then at the same time, you meet that chav cunt who wants to steal your watch.
It's gritty.
It's so gritty.
It's real
so
grimy.
strange.
Yeah. Dude, the problem in London is a lot of knife attacks now.
I heard. I haven't been for years, but I heard
I got
really
a buddy that's a cop in London. I know him through jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And he was, we shared a room together once at a hostel, and he was telling me all about like all the knife attacks that happen there, and how dude, and a lot of the times it's just dudes trying to prove themselves to like their buddies that go rob this guy, and then he goes, I'll look tough, fucking end up stabbing him. But he said that so many of them, they're not remorseful. Like they're just like, no, fuck you. Even when they get arrested, they're just like,
okay.
They never show remorse. They're not like, oh yeah, what I did was wrong. They always have that like hardened, beaten down exterior. Like so many people in today's society are just bitter, or they're on the wrong end of a social structure that it feels like nobody cares for them and they don't have any opportunity. And I think that like the bigger the city and the worse the opportunity and the equality is, the more you're going to breed that type of resentful person.
But I think what you just said is that's the key to everything. It's like everybody generally just wants to have a good life. I think that's like universal. So you could end.
Just lift that up.
Sorry.
No, you lift it up to you if you want there.
There
you go.
Now, if you just had more economic equality,
Yeah.
Why would you bother? Why would you bother running around on the street with a fucking knife? You wouldn't. Because you would want to just hang out with your family and your friends and have a good life.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think if we could, the inequality in society is apparently worldwide. It's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
The erosion of the middle class.
Yeah,
yeah,
and it's just getting a shit ton of poor people, and then you have a small, like segment of society that just. It's like with when they're talking about like with gender equality.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh, men in the power, and it's like no. Just a few men. Like men in general work as builders or, industrial workers or farmers, or that's men in general.
Yeah.
So like if you're talking about the top tier, yeah, there's more men, but how many of them are there? There's not many.
There's not gender equality amongst men.
No.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I think even like all these things, like if you could just like even out some of this stuff, and it's for me, it's like one big sort of issue that I'm having these days in Norway is public spending, the way we spend money. I'm not opposed to taxes in any way. I mean, I've always been a social democrat in that sense, but the way what I'm starting to really ask questions, how are you spending this money?
I gotcha.
Yeah, like when you with the new regjeringskvartal.
Yeah, the tunnel.
No, that the tunnel is one thing, which is a fucking shambles and a disgrace in itself. But the new new government area after the bomb went off.
Yeah.
The price tag of this is now like in the 40 billions.
Really?
And it's like, why wouldn't you just build something outside of the city?
Yeah.
And it's just the way the money is being spent.
That's
if you
a good
took
point.
like, let's just take that 40 billion.
Yeah.
And you look at the problem with youth crime in our city. How long, how many hospitals, how many youth issues could be solved? How many health issues could be solved with 40 billion kroner?
All
That's
of them.
A lot.
Yeah.
Probably all of them.
Fuck, of course.
So where is this money? How's this money being spent? Like this tunnel thing is just such a fucking joke, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The tunnel underneath the regjeringskvartalet. That's the one that's supposed to be like extending it.
No, they're going to lower it.
Yeah.
They're going to lower it.
And it's
like 2 billion kroner.
Yeah, and it's like I can't remember how much, but it's like fucking 3 million per meter or something.
It's from Blitz to Rockefeller kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's the way I understood it. Something like that.
And it's so much money.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Another thing, that's a really good point. But another thing I don't understand, maybe it's just my naivety towards engineering, but they've been working on that thing for fucking 10 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you've been working on a building for 10 years.
It's insane.
Fuck, man. I don't know how long it took them to build the pyramids.
But why would can you imagine now that it's done with the history of this? Can you imagine the security of this place? How it's going to be a fortress right in the middle of our city.
Yeah.
Why the fuck don't you do like the American embassy? Move it out into a field outside of town.
Yeah.
We don't need that shit in the city.
No.
Put the fucking Congress people, the Stortings people in the Prime Minister's office, send them out of town.
Dude, they should just have home office.
They should get on the followed train and just fuck
go
off.
Out to ski.
Yeah. We don't need you in the city.
Dude, they should just have Teams meetings.
Yeah, but we don't need any of that shit in the city.
Nah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So it's public spending going absolutely. Apparently, it's. I don't. When we bought all the new fighter jets, this is already more than half of that.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the national defense and an office building.
Have we got the fighter jets yet?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they spent quite a lot of that.
Yeah, because I remember that was a thing between the Lockheed and some Swedish
that's
company.
Like way back.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then they decided, so they bought the American one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you like Top Gun Maverick?
Fuck yeah. I went to see. I had a great experience. We were in Halden.
Yeah.
And it was on the warmest day of summer.
Yeah.
And so I said to my boys, Lucas and Jonas, I was like, dude, let's go to the cinema and see Top Gun. So we come in there, and it's only us in the cinema.
Oh, nice.
So I talked to the cinema guy before, and I was like, dude, can I just shout at you? And then, if it's just us, like, just drop the advertising. He's like, yeah, no worries.
Yeah, perfect.
So we're like, hey, dude, let's just get to the movie.
Push skip.
Yeah. But that was for me, that was just such an unapologetical, like machoistic fucking cliche of a film, and that was obviously the first one as well. It was perfect because they didn't even try to make it politically correct or anything. It was just stupid, but in a great way.
Yeah. You know, one thing I did hear about that movie was originally they wanted to have the jacket that Tom Cruise wore in the original film. Did you hear about this?
Yeah, it says Taiwan.
Yeah, the Taiwan thing.
Yeah.
And then they wanted to take it off, but they go, no, fuck you.
Yeah.
We're leaving it on.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty dope.
It's cool. It's
yeah.
cool.
But you know, I loved Top Gun Maverick, man. Like the final mission is one of my favorite final missions in movies. Like there's a few good final mission scenes in movies, but that one was fucking
amazing.
Awesome.
But even like the end shot when like, you know, when they got like the sepia filter on, you know, the California sunset and the garage door opens and she's there, beautiful. Leaning against the Porsche. We just cracked that.
Classic.
So
I know.
funny,
it's such a stereotype.
Such a cliche.
Yeah.
But I loved it. I thought it was great.
I loved it too.
Have you seen the new Avatar?
Yep.
Is it good?
Yeah.
I haven't
It's
seen
great.
It. Yeah.
It's really good. It's fun.
I gotta go see it.
Yeah, I think you'll really enjoy it.
Did you see it at the IMAX or?
Yeah, dude. IMAX 3D, VIP seating, big fucking box of popcorn with my girlfriend, a little bit of fingering. Totally making out a little bit, 20% fingering. Yeah.
As you do.
Yeah. I love going to the cinema, man. It's my favorite. Like
I'm actually quite the opposite. Like I hate the cinema. I hate the cinema because of the other people.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I like it.
I just get like if you have the for example, why you're allowed to sell like potato chip bags in the cinema.
If you have a bad etiquette, you know, like if you're real loud and I feel like if you're going to eat potato chips, maybe eat them during the commercial or something, or like try to at least be real.
Yeah, but that's the worst when people are really trying to be quiet.
Fuck, just eat it. Just eat it. Eat the chips.
Now I went to see Blade Runner. That was amazing in the cinema.
Oh, the
remake.
Oh yeah, the Ryan Gosling one.
Yeah. That was sick.
Oh, Dune? Did you see Dune?
Fuck yeah,
that
was a cinema film. So I obviously have to go see Avatar in the cinema.
Yeah, man. Actually, I think I think the new Dune is coming out this year.
Because apparently they made 4.
Right. They just fucking keep making these.
But that
things.
was visually perfect. I thought that
the best film. It was amazing.
Yeah.
My girlfriend hated it. She's not into sci-fi.
No.
I just sat there, and I think it's a 3-hour-long movie, and we were like an hour and a half in. She goes, "Is it almost finished?" I'm like, "No, we're not even halfway." She's like,
I saw this series called Long Way Up with Ewan McGregor, and they're traveling from the tip of like Ushuaia in South America all the way up to LA on electrical motorcycles.
Oh damn!
Yeah, and they're like in some village with Plan International in the fucking wherever it is, in Peru or Chile. I can't remember where it was. And then they're like, "Oh, so what do you do?" It's like, "I'm an actor." And it's like, "So what have you been in?" He's like, "Well, there's a little thing called Star Wars." And none of the kids knew about it. He's like, "Yeah, I'm Obi-Wan nobody." You know?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's funny, man. Shit.
So what's your take on franchise movies?
It depends on the franchise. Yeah, well, you got an example?
Well, for example, Star Wars.
Oh, terrible. They're terrible.
Such a downer.
Dude, the first 3, perfect.
Yeah.
Amazing. I actually got offered to work on the new Star Wars films.
Really?
Yeah. I was doing stunts at the time, and I got a job doing stunts on the new Star Wars movies, but I said no. I was in Brazil, and I didn't want to fly back for it. But when they came out, I fucking hated them. Every single one of them. And I hate all the new ones. And I don't like the shows either. And I know some people, the show's Mandalorian. But it just feels like it's made for little kids.
It does. It probably is.
It's Disney. Like, what do you expect? There's marketing it to 12-year-olds. I like shows like Breaking Bad. I like shows with a degree of darkness.
Eastbound and Down.
Oh, comedies like that.
God,
I like comedies like Eastbound and Down, or like The Anchorman, or Zoolander, or like
Tropic Thunder.
Amazing.
How good was that?
It's the best.
I saw this thing where I think it was Joe Rogan asked Downey Jr., "Could you make Tropic Thunder today?" And his answer was like, "Well, you could,
yeah,
but
yeah, you can't make it today.
No,
not a chance.
You get cancelled.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, but
can you imagine the trigger effect on every little sensitive person out there on a film like that?
Dude, they'd have to run to their safe space. They would melt down.
But that's the thing, and it's such obviously humor,
Mm.
and it's such obviously a piss take on method acting. It's
So good.
amazing.
Yeah.
So it's such a shame that works like that will probably never be made again.
No, I know. You have got a lot of comedy movies, it seems like, has been really defanged.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you take a lot of but that's what I mean. I really believe that like stand up is like the last line of defense. You know what I mean? We lost movies.
Yeah.
We lost TV. We got this is it. Stand up right here, right now. You know what I mean? And we're gonna take everybody's phones so that you can't, some of these big shows that take your phones so that they can say some fucking crazy shit and nobody's gonna record it and then like complain about it and post a video and stuff like that. But I really believe that like when you're trying to like express something in a way that like isn't like designed to please everybody, and we're just saying this because it's funny, and we love everybody. I'm not trying to be mean here, but we're gonna say some fucked up shit, and you can interpret that however you want, but it's gonna be funny, and this is it. This is where we're standing.
I think also there's a lot of like good correction, for example, like the Me Too movement, the Black Lives Matter movement. There's a lot of stuff that's really good. I mean, a lot of shit has been weeded out. And I think a lot of like powerful people think twice before they sexually abuse. You know what I mean? It's like massive steps towards better society has been made and is being made. But then you get like these freeloaders who's like, I remember there was this thing about this bench by the botanical gardens, and it was a huge debate because it was Carl von Linné who set up the the biological system. Can't remember what it's called. Like he did it, the botanical system, or like how you put
like how you name the plants,
or like how they're put into
okay. And he was, other families maybe
kind of thing, and he was, I can't remember the details, but he was like lived in like the 1700s, and he was a racist. I think he had some slaves and stuff like that. Yeah. And then there was like a whole thing, we must cancel the bench. And I remember it was really funny because I think it was Kadra Yusuf. She's like a debate, like a social voice, like community voice kind of thing. How do you call that in English? Like an activist? No, not an activist. She's just like a real smart lady. Like a thought leader. Yeah, it's kind of. Yeah. And there was this whole thing was like brewing, and she just wrote, "There's a lot of problems with racism in Oslo. That fucking bench is not one of them." And then that was exactly. Like the end of the discussion. Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that although it's like a lot of good is coming out of this stuff, I want humor to go, keep going hard. You have to. Yeah. You got to go hard. I agree. There's so many good social innovations that are coming from calling out injustice and standing up for that. Yeah. Obviously, like, like you mentioned, like obviously racism and sexism and fucking people doing bad shit. But where it gets nutty is when people start clicking instead of clapping. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or, like there's probably a bunch of other examples where you just go, oh, really? You got offended by that? Yeah. That's... I saw Bill Burr said a thing, which I thought was pretty clever. It's like, if you're going to go into 20 years into my path and arrest me for something I said 20 years ago, before we do that, you're going to have to divulge your last 20 years. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. If you're that fucking high and mighty, because I think that we're living through... I think it's just it's a shame when like old films, old books, you should just like in Norway, for example, you have Hamsun. I mean, he was a fucking Nazi, but he was a great writer. You can't take that away from him. No. But you have to educate the kids that like a lot of these things that he wrote was obviously colored by the fact that he was a full-on fucking pig. Yeah. But you shouldn't cancel the books. No, you just need to understand the context that he was in. Exactly. Obviously, he was a piece of shit. Yeah. But exactly. That's what he had. That's what he brought to the table. Yeah. Bring everyone towards the middle and stop being fringe. I think that would be great. Yeah, that's it. So I'm gonna wrap the podcast up because the cameras run out. I just want to. Do you have any goals or anything for 2023 that you're working towards? What's the keep living, man. I don't have any. I mean, I just want to enjoy myself. I want to enjoy work. I want to enjoy my family. I want to just, I do have some goals, but I can't really talk about it because it's a business thing. Yep. But yeah, so there are good times ahead, I hope.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I'm happy to hear that. I'm going to tell you one goal I have.
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue with people. That's a goal.
That's a good goal.
That's a good goal,
Yeah,
man.
let it slide.
Let it slide.
Fuck yeah, I like that.
Yeah. I've been in a few situations where like I can feel I'm getting baited into it.
Yeah.
And I take the bait and I go, you
I
know
like
what?
that.
Yeah, but now I'm just like, oh yeah, maybe you're right.
Oh, that hurts so much.
does.
If you're like an argumentative person.
Yeah, I know. You just watch them like melt down and self-destruct.
I'm not even gonna go there.
No.
Dude, that's good. Yeah, I'm gonna maybe try and soak in a little bit. Let it slide. I think that's a good way of going.
I think so. I'm gonna let people slide. I'll let you slide on this one. Yeah.
Perfect. Without saying it, you just like nod.
Yeah.
That's so annoying.
Maybe.
If you're confrontational.
Yeah.
You're probably right, man.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
What? Yeah. What?
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, Paul, thanks for being a guest,
thanks
brother.
for having me, man.
Yeah, it was good times.
Yeah.
All right. Take
Sweet.
care. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out. Mwah.